All right, well, welcome everybody. We're gonna do a bit of a hangout and AMA. It's been a while since I've done one, and it's time to do one. Let me go ahead and I made one slight error here. I forgot to turn on the bookcase lights. We'll fix that real quick. There we go. All right. Again, I'm GM Eric. Welcome. If you know me, I run games professionally full time as a D&D game master. I run other RPGs as well. If you guys are ever interested in playing one of my games, I'd love to talk to you. Send me a message either on Discord, YouTube, an email over at gm@gmeric.com. All these are great ways to get a hold of me in order to figure out what we can do to get you into a session and get you to have some fun playing some TTRPGs. The way these hangouts usually work is I sit here and I answer questions from the chat. We also discuss what's been going on in the campaign setting as a whole, in the Toivon campaign setting, what's going on with the business, so that people get heads up, and anything I want to rant about, we go off on. So feel free to put messages in chat. Elena Fordragon is going to be my moderator tonight. She is going to be keeping track of what's going on and letting me know what needs to be done and whatever messages are going on. So, a couple things since it's been several months since we've done this. What's been going on in GME land? Well, we had our anniversary in April, which was cool. We sent out a whole bunch of sky map decoders, which if you've not checked those out, we will be go ahead and we will fix that chat fade later. Let him make a note for me to fix that later so that the chat doesn't fade quite as quickly. Thanks, Jay Doodle, for the subscription. Appreciate that. But we had our anniversary in April. It's been 5 years now that we've been running GME full-time professionally as my primary form of income and doing this as my job. And I've loved almost all of it. It has been a delight and a pleasure. I have now been at this employment doing this longer than I have at any other individual job during my entire career since I've been working at the age of 14. I'm 47, so 33 years of working. This is the job I've held the longest now is GME. And I love what I do. It's an absolute delight. I've got amazing players that I run stuff for, amazing clients that are reliable, and I love working with. But we had the anniversary. We sent out those SkyMap decoders, the wooden ones. Since then, we've developed in-house these plastic ones that are made of ABS plastic. If you've not checked these out, these are amazing. These are much smoother. These are a much better product than previously. And they're half as thick. These are a lot nicer. We do these all in-house. These have 42 codes on each one. Thanks for all those gifted subs there, Tech Viking. I appreciate that. And we reached a sub goal. I appreciate that so much. But yeah, guys, check these out over at gmeric.com. These are in the game enhancers in order to enhance your at-home games. Pick one of these up for your GM or for your players. These are really, really cool. And these are all made in the United States, right here at GME headquarters. So if you're interested in one of these, pick them up. We have a limited supply, but we are constantly making more of them. So if you're interested in those, pick those up. We also have the GM Eric hats, which if you've not checked these out, these are great hats. These are embroidered. They're snapback hats that fit even my head. We did the mailer. Everyone got the mailer. It took a little bit of work to get the overseas people. There were some issues with customs and the tariffs and stuff, but everyone ended up getting their various decoders and the mailer. Since then, we've done a whole bunch of sessions with some skips because some of the people have had the summer vacations and summer business trips, etc. So we've had to done a lot of one-shots over the past couple months where we've had to do some other some side quest stuff. Like this morning we did side quest Saturday. because it is a put on the hat. Oh, okay. Put on the hat. There we go. I put on the hat. Are you guys happy now? Yeah, there he goes. Cool. The tip jar. The tip jar, if you do any donations, the tip jar is there for donations. If you guys want to use the donation section, the tips are there. That's up to you guys. I do this full time. I'm not expecting tips. My players pay to participate in my games. I try to keep the rates reasonable for you guys, and we do so through merch sales and through Twitch subscriptions and generous people like Tech Viking, who just gifted a whole bunch of subs. We do advertising through Twitch, and we get revenue from that. And we're trying to get there on YouTube as well, so that we can get that monetized and keep the campaign rates low. By keeping the campaign rates low, my players continue having a great experience at a reasonable rate. There are GMs out there that charge significantly more than I do. Right now, my current rate is $25 per person per session, and I've been at this rate for now 3 years. At some point, I am going to have to raise that just because of inflation. It's going to happen. It's not a big surprise. Also, the professional GM market, I am on the lower end as far as pricing goes for a long-term GM. So that price does eventually need to come up a little bit. I'm trying to keep it not jumping super high because I know that I'm already expensive as a hobby, but I want to make sure that my players are able to afford it, and it's worthwhile for me doing, because otherwise I have to go get a job at Costco, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to go get a job at Costco. I'm a big guy, and that's a lot of exercise. I totally respect the people who work there. It's just not for me. We also have been doing more of the podcast. We enabled podcasting over on YouTube. So if you're interested in checking out sessions, we have a whole bunch of campaigns that are constantly updated on the podcasting. So go check that out. We did a clip contest. We gave away one of these hats. Tyronius won the hat that is being sent to him. We've got the Battle Royale coming up on July 27th, which is just in a couple of weeks. The map for the Battle Royale will not be revealed to anybody. Nobody except me gets to see that. None of my team members, none of the mods, none of the developers, none of the participants. Nobody sees the Battle Royale map before the Battle Royale except for me. I do it all myself so that it's fair for any participants who show up. The Battle Royales are a ton of fun. It's a PvP event where we come in and we jumble everybody up, and we have a fight to the death to see who's going to come out victorious. And 99% of the time, it's someone who we did not expect to win, which is a ton of fun. The sportsmanship is real. It's very often where people will be like, you could defeat me right now if you did this thing, or hey, you forgot to do this specific thing, and you really should, in order to be most effective. So check that out. Let me see here. Let's see here. It was fun. Yes, not even my wife. My wife does not get to see the Battle Royale map. Nope. Hi, welcome to Costco. I love you, Idiocracy. I love that movie. It's fun. Can members of my team participate? Yes. If my mods want to participate in the Battle Royale, they can participate because they have no influence on how the Battle Royale comes in or goes out. We do not stream the event live because I want to make sure we're not doing any stream sniping, that the moderators are available to join in, etc. So if mods want to join in, they're absolutely able to participate in the Battle Royale. They just have to pay for the ticket. So, tossing that out there. The only way to win a GM Eric Bomber jacket is by winning the Battle Royale. We have in the past sold the black and gold ones. If you have not seen the black and gold bomber jackets, I can get a picture of one on the screen for you. Give me just a second here, and I'll get a picture of one of those on the screen. Give me a second. I'm going to get a picture of the geometric bomber jackets on the screen. I'm in the wrong folder there. 1 second, guys. Here we go. Bomber jackets. Alright. One of my mods, if you guys are familiar with Covet, she has won a Battle Royale in the past, and she has modeled one of the jackets for me. And we're going to go ahead and show that image here for you guys. This is what the bomber jacket looks like. Here we go. That's what the bomber jacket looks like there. If you've not checked these out, they are awesome. The black ones are for the first time champions. The white ones, which will be white and gold, are for the returning champions. So if you win a second time, you get the white and gold one. So if you're interested in getting one of these jackets, the only way to get one is by winning the Battle Royale and coming out on top. Interestingly, she won through a Wild Magic Surge by defeating her husband at a Battle Royale. It would have been several years ago now. I've got several other pictures of the battle. Here's another image of our latest champion wearing his bomber jacket. So, if you guys have not checked that out, come join us for the Battle Royale on July 27th. It is a ton of fun, and it lasts several hours, but it is a great, great time. I run them twice a year, once in the summer and once in the winter. So come hang out. It'll be a good time. Very, very cool. Tech Viking, send me a picture of yours. I need to get one of you. I need to get one of Bannock with his. I would love to get, I have a picture of the first champion, but it's a very low shot of him in it, and it is not a great picture. Let me see if I've got that handy here for you guys. Here he is. This is Yurian. He won the very first Battle Royale, and he has his. He is now a coach for the Swedish women's basketball team. So he no longer participates in my games, but I love Steve. He is awesome. He is a really cool player and a ton of fun to have in the campaign. But we've had several. If you're interested in those signups are right on the front page over at gmeric.com. Go check that out. Sign up for the event. It is a blast. All the rules are there. You do need to read the rules carefully. We did change a lot of the rules this time. A lot of the rules have changed since last time. You need to go and read very carefully because there's very specific changes after balancing things out last time. So you need to go check that out. But yeah, Tech Viking, send me a picture of you and your jacket. I'd love to have that for my records. I'm really proud of those jackets, and my champions need to brag. I think bragging is an important thing. All right, but yeah, if right now the only jackets that are out there are black ones, etc. Someone just sent me a message. I need to talk about my AMA chatting habits. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, my chatting habits are I chat. So, that's fine. If someone asks me a question or something, I'm going to answer it. Otherwise, I'm going to ramble off and just be myself. And tough, this is what you get when you get me off the chain. Yes, I read it out. I'm getting messages from my mods, and they are laughing their ass off at the fact that I'm responding to them. So, whatever. But yeah, guys. Let's see. That's all the real announcements at the moment. We're going to go through all the various campaigns real quick and discuss what's been going on in those. Since April, we've had the Beneath Fallen Skies group. We're going to start on Sunday. The Beneath Fallen Skies group has traveled from Akru over to Miserin and have, in general, been doing some exploration. They're working on collecting the next segment of a sky shard in order to raise the sky island into the air. There's the process that they're working on right now is they're working on collecting a celestial chart, which is a cool piece of lore. They're working with an individual by the name of Vurim Tal in Miserin, who's a merchant of questionable morality, and they are currently working in the Salt Spire, working on delving through there. We have an AMA in here. Do you have a spectator ticket for the Battle Royale for people that just want to watch but not participate? Maybe a lower price. They could be in a different voice channel. Tech Viking, I do not have that. What I do is after the Battle Royale ends, I will stream it out live. We'll do an entire replay as a rerun here on Twitch and on YouTube, and it will be published on YouTube where people can watch. But live, we don't do that because it encourages stream sniping. We have had that in the past, and it is not a good thing. As a highly competitive gamer myself, anytime that there's the possibility where someone could have access to information that they shouldn't have, we really don't want to encourage that. So I'm not going to be doing that. We will do the after event replay where people can go and watch it. It is a ton of fun. The Battle Royale players themselves are encouraged to keep their chat into the Battle Royale channel. But I don't think I'm going to be doing a spectator thing just because there's a tendency for information to leak. And it's just not a good idea. Just from a integrity perspective. It looks like we just got a new emote on Twitch for the hype train that Tech Viking did, which I appreciate. So Beneath Fallen Skies is working on that. If you guys can hear my sinuses and me talking a little weird, I'm coming off of a slight illness with allergies. It's getting better, but it's going to take a little bit still for me to get back to 100%. The Underwatch has really taken off. They are delving deep into the Sanctum of the Starfallen. That's my Monday night group. That is based loosely, very loosely, off of the old World's Largest Dungeon. They are redoing the world's largest dungeon for 5th edition. Kickstarter for that and everything. This is my take on the World's Largest Dungeon, and I've added a ton of lore to it. We've changed what monsters are where. It's a lot more in depth than the original, and it's a lot more interesting, I think, and it's more engaging for the players. So come check us out on Mondays for that. It's a big dungeon crawl, but we got some good lore bits and some good character engagement between the various characters there. Twicky is hilarious. We've got Vale, who's doing dark, brooding one-liners. We've got Thunder, who is inspiring a song that I'm working on with that's in the works, based off of just springing traps constantly. We've got the goodness, my brain farted. 1 second, guys. I've got to go pull up his name. Pulling up my Underwatch team. Jacqueline. Jacqueline's walking around with just a backpack full of crap that he's collecting. He likes his hunting traps, and he's got a ladder now. He walks around doing shenanigans, which is fun. We got Lila shooting stuff. We've got our new rogue, our new artificer BG, Bronze Gnome. He's just rolling around being kind of like Samus Aran doing the rolly thing. It's a good group of guys. That entire thing, and then we've got Oz, who's got some kind of illness that we are going to be exploring. So come hang out. It's an absolute good time. Then we have the Awesome Blossoms. The Awesome Blossoms, we are starting to ramp down their campaign. We're tying up loose ends. We're figuring out the last few arcs that need to happen. And so we are working on Tristan's sisters right now. We're trying to collect them and rescue them from the Brandfather's lair in Cordray Gruul. They just made it to where they have seen the stairs down to the second level. They suspect and believe that his sisters are on the third level, so they've got a ways to go through this dungeon crawl before they get down to where the sisters are. So far, it's been a very hot encounter, and the theming for this dungeon crawl is very much branding and flames and fire, hot creatures. It's been a lot of fun. They just fought a flame dragon, which was a big challenge for them. We almost TPK'd them, and it got really, really close. So they're doing really well. Those players, we did lose 2 of the characters. We changed them out. When Pear died as a character, who Pear may get reincarnated in the future. I've spoken to the player. He's interested in bringing Pear back into another story or one-shots or other content in the future. But the Pear is going to be coming back in the future in some other aspect. We're not sure where yet, but since Pear died, we switched Fu over to be more of a retired character, and we instead have done a new character in oh goodness, I forgot her name. I'm pulling it up. Steph. And Steph is a new character based off of Calatrix, and some of the lore we're going to be doing with that is fun. So come hang out on Tuesdays for that group. We've got a ton of stuff there. Yeah, Jack has a loaded backpack all the time. Will there be room for outside campaign plot for Underwatch, or will the players be there till level 20? If spoiler, then you don't have to tell. There's going to be some spoiler aspects to that. Most of what the Underwatch is doing is going to be based within the dungeon itself, within the Sanctum of the Starfallen. We're not going to be going across the world with that group. That group's going to essentially be on location for essentially the entire campaign. We may, after we get through the entire Sanctum of the Starfallen, get out and do some other things after that. But right now the plan is to get through this main story. So that is years away. So just heads up on that. The idea is you guys are going to be in that dungeon, working on that dungeon for a long time. For those who haven't seen it, I will share a sneak peek. This is I'm going to just flash this on the screen real quick. This is my reference map when I'm building content for the Underwatch. That's only the first level of the Underwatch. There's another, I believe there's another 14 of those. So it is a massive, massive place to be explored. Tons of stuff. I hope I answered that question for you, Rice Hunter. Yes? Maybe? Hope so. Okay. Then we shift from Awesome Blossoms to the Toyvon Trainwreck. They are currently in search of Saphira's soul. She has been identified as being within the fortress of Crimson Glass, the headquarters of a succubus organization, a coven. And okay, we're gonna. One of my mods is asking me for something here in a second. Let's go ahead and get Matilda down into the moderator chat, and I will get her dragged in here. So the Saphira is working on. They're working on finding Saphira's soul, and have just worked with the Auric Vigil, and are working on figuring out how to get to the Fortress of Crimson Glass. So I'm going to drag Matilda in here, and she's going to hang out and chat with us. Welcome, Matilda. Greetings. I know I'm being a little awkward. That's okay. But yeah, I'm just talking about how the train wreck has been working on Saphira's soul, trying to recover it. It has been a generally engaging story for them because they have done some very off-the-wall things, and because some of their players have been missing due to a variety of reasons, we've had to do some hazing rituals within the Toivoid train wreck for fun. But we can't hear Matilda. We can't hear Matilda. Alright, one sec. No, one sec. I'm getting it fixed. I'm getting it fixed. Here we go. Nope. That's the wrong thing. Let me get... I didn't do these AMAs so that people could hear other people. I've not done this with anyone other than myself. So give me just a second of getting that out of here. Okay, how about now? Can we hear her now? Can you guys hear her? How about now? Say something? No, nothing yet? Alright, let's figure out why we cannot hear Matilda. Don't do that. Alright. Why can I not hear you on Twitch? We're trying to get this fixed here. One second, guys. No, it shouldn't be coming to the soundboard at all. It's weird. Alright. Weird. I'm not seeing the audio feed for you. We'll have to figure that out. Right. Okay. Alright. I can't help that right now. This is a bad idea to make me change this in the middle of the session. Yeah. We tried to get the audio working here, and for some reason it's not working. Oh, I know what's going on. One second here. I know what happened. Got it. One second here. No. Alright. I know what happened. Alright. No. They don't need that. Alright. There we go. I think I've got you working now. Try that.
Testing 1 2. Hello, Twitch.
There we go. Alright. Yeah. Sorry about that technical issue, guys. We were trying to get Matilda in here so she can moderate me and make sure that I'm not being crazy. Or as crazy.
Well, I mean, like, you're crazy all the time, but okay.
Absolutely. But yeah, Trainwreck has been good. Friday Night Lights. We are working on tying up some remaining story arcs in Kier's story arc and Zoya's. We're going to be hitting Zoya's up this coming Friday, and then after that, we're working on Kier's. So that's fun.
Going back a little bit to before I hopped in, you said that there was some hazing.
Yes.
That was happening. What What was the hazing?
Well, we had Tati miss a session 2 sessions ago, and the players set Tati up to do all the infiltration into the Auric Vigil's castle, which is over the Glimmer Deep, which is a dungeon that they decided not to go down into because they made friends instead of having to delve. But because she was not there, they put all their plans in one basket and then decided that she was going to be the only person sent in, and she was going to be in charge of infiltrating the castle. And so when she came in the next week, all their eggs were in one basket of sending her in and risking her character's life to go and do the espionage.
And of course you were like rubbing hands together. Yes, please spill the party.
And so she went in and did some sewer diving and drainage line running in order to be okay. But that session, Bryn Gemflower missed for reasons. And because he missed, when they came back, they had dressed Bryn Gemflower up in a French maid outfit with fishnets, etc.
Wait, what?
Yep. And he is looking at getting art of this due to the fact that it's very engaging, and we're going to be giving him a bonus for wearing this specific outfit, and he's talking about even getting fan service art of the character made specifically for this outfit. So
yes, please share. I have to see this. I need this.
This is a thing that Bryn's working on. It's been 3.5 years now that we've been doing this campaign, and we have one little piece of art of Bryn. Walker, who plays Bryn, is looking to potentially get more art of the character, which would be really cool. But O'Sheen missed this past Wednesday night, and so there's something hazing coming up this coming Wednesday, and I encourage you guys to come hang out and see what hazing is being done for O'Sheen.
I'm sensing a pattern.
Absolutely. Because when you've been playing together for 3.5 years, and the main storyline kind of slows down because we don't want to leave someone out, the party kind of hazes you for having missed a session in the train wreck, which is fine. It's all in good fun. It's not meant to be harmful to anybody. And if you dish it out, you got to be willing to take it in that group, which is a ton of fun because we have people like Rusin and Coin and Sason and Jordan with all the characters he's had to play, just coming in and throwing barbs around and insults, throwing shade. And then we've got Tati doing her thing, Bryn coming in with the analysis and everything. It's great.
They sound like a really fun group.
They are a absolute hoot. It is a train wreck of a group to be at. So come hang out on Wednesdays. That is a ton of fun. Then we have, my Thursday nights have been mostly free. I've been doing a lot of work on the business. We have worked on a development space here in house at GME headquarters, where we are converting my garage into a production space for props and for setting up conventions, etc. That's coming soon. We had to work.
Oh, that is true. Don't forget, if anybody is going to be at San Japan,
yes,
a couple of us are going to be wandering around there, mingling and checking things out. We don't have a booth this year, but we will be around.
Yeah, I'm sending Elena and Matilda to San Japan here in San Antonio. So if you go to the San Japan convention here, it's an anime convention. Look for them. They may be in uniform. Otherwise, if you can find them, say hi. They'll give you a card, and we'll do something cool like a drawing or something if you can find them and get a picture with them. So check that out. That's I believe in a couple of months. I believe that's in October. If I remember.
Let me get the actual dates.
Okay. But we're expanding that production space over in the garage. That's going to add about another 400 square feet to the workspace we've got. So, hey, welcome AWOL Games.
Okay.
Welcome. Hope you're having a wonderful day.
All right. The San Japan is from August 29th to August 31st.
So next month.
Elena and I will both be there. We'll probably be in our uniform polos. And if you can get a picture with us, then I think we'll probably do a drawing or something on stream.
Yeah.
For all the people that managed to find us.
Yeah, what we'll do is we'll do a little slideshow with all the pictures of people who got their pictures taken with the mods, and we'll do a drawing of those people. So we'll have their information and everything, so we can do a drawing. It'll be fun.
Oh.
But yeah,
What would you wish the campaigns would dive into? So like more RP, lore drops, even a bit more hostility. That's from Rice Hunter TTV.
What do I wish the campaigns would dive into more? Honestly, more interpersonal RP is something that I'd love to see more of. I'd love to see more engagement from character to character instead of reaching out to NPCs. Appreciate the cheer. Appreciate that, AWOL Games. Welcome. Any questions, feel free to ask. This is open format. Just toss questions in there. Really appreciate that cheer. But when we're talking about in session, very often we get into this mindset of it's the group versus the environment, which is fine. That's okay. As long as it's not group versus GM, that's what I care about. I'm there to provide challenges and let you guys work through them. But the story is about your characters, and each of the characters in all of the campaigns has a deep storyline that you guys could explore by talking to the other players during downtime. Engage with them, ask them how they're doing, what do they consider about the situation, etc. So you may want to go ahead and ask, hey, a great example of this would be Lila and Vale on Monday nights. We've been doing a lot of engaging in what's going on. What do you remember of your past? We've had some discussion with Oz about why he's sick. We've gotten some discussion about Twicky and his cooking. That kind of engagement is really good. We've got some of that on Saturday mornings with the Us Against the Gods group, which we'll cover in a moment. The train wreck, we haven't really done a lot of that recently because we've established so much lore. The lore on that has been really in depth. We've
oh, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I've got you covered. I'll read anything out to you that needs to be answered.
Oh, AWOL Games hasn't played D&D since you were a teenager. Miss it. GM was awesome. I'm glad you had a great GM. I do this full time. I'm a full-time professional GM. I run games. I stream on Twitch and YouTube 6 times a week. And I run private games beyond that in the form of one-shots and private campaigns. So coming out, we've got a great community. Join our Discord. We've got tons of stuff over there. Alena is going to post the link to the Discord right now. Watch this. Where was I? Yes. Interpersonal communication, as far as the player characters, I'd love to see people delving more into the characters' RP, their backstories, etc. I'd love you guys to figure out what is the character's favorite color? What do they engage with? What's their favorite food? How do they react? Their sisters' names, brothers' names, parents, etc. A lot of the characters that are in these campaigns have really rich backstories that are not being explored by the party members. And I'd love to see that explored more. So that's one of the things I'd really love to see more from the players is during the sessions, getting involved in that. I think that's a lost opportunity for a lot of immersion and depth to the campaign that I'd love to see more of. As far as mechanical side of things, the groups in general are very diverse in how they approach situations, and you guys come up with creative use of game mechanics, which is fun. So I'm not really worried about that, etc. But I hope that answers that question for you, Rice Hunter. Lore drops, look into the lore drops. Ask questions about the lore drops. If I give you a document or a paragraph that your character has discovered, read through it with a fine-tooth comb. There are lore bits that I'm hiding in those things for you guys to ask questions about. If we give you a sky map code where you have to use the sky map decoder, which if you, AWOL, if you've not seen this, we have these sky map decoders on our website over at gmark.com. These have 42 codes on them, and these are used to decipher codes within my games. So check these out. But whenever you see one of these, if you get a code with a sky map on it, that's the item that needs to be really investigated and researched. If not immediately, you need to go and make sure that you're going to come back to that item in the future and explore more about that. So check that out. Be sure you're checking those things out. Don't let something sit. Very often I put a prop in there, we do a graphic or a key or something. That prop has lore behind it. How did it get there? Why is it there? Who owned it? How was it made? Why was it made? All of this stuff. It all has reasons. And explore that. It's got a history. There's content for you guys.
Tech Viking has a good point.
Yep.
Says diving into characters is 100% cool, but in some ways it's not so easy. Sometimes it feels like the players are trying to keep it a secret versus others being an open book.
That's very valid. And there are characters who are going to be that secretive person. Absolutely. And that's fine. If you've got a character who wants to be that secretive person, great. Let them be. But the vast majority of the player characters that are in my campaigns currently really want their stories explored. We want to have people reach out to us and be like, tell me about you. Let us know what's going on in your experience here. What do you think about the fact that this mummy lord was doing this? Was that scary to you? Or was that okay? Do you think mummies are evil? Do you think reincarnation's a thing? Ask about these questions. These are things that we draw people out. Ask questions about them and it'll bring the player characters to life. It's a lot of fun to do. So I highly encourage it.
As a GM, and this is a question for me, as a GM, if you've got, a player who's wanting to interact with other people in their party and is not getting the feedback or the interaction that they're looking for, what kind of advice would you give to them to help them bridge that gap? Like, they're looking for more social interaction, the other player is wanting to keep super secrets. How do they make that connection?
If they're wanting their information to get out and the other players are not drawing it out, you need to come talk to me or your GM if you're playing in someone else's game. And you need to tell me, hey, look, I want to get this piece of lore out, but the other players aren't helping me with it. Can we get an NPC to ask questions? And I can go ahead and get an NPC to engage with you and draw that bit of lore out. We can figure out a way to make that happen. It's more fun when the players do it as opposed to an NPC, but NPCs can do this. Shopkeepers, briefing people, guards, merchants, all sorts of people can pull information out. Wandering baker with a baguette can come by and ask a question about how's your day? And if that how's your day ends up being expositional, it's great. It allows you the opportunity to be like, well, I just got done fighting a mummy lord and I was scared for my life. Do you have a few moments to talk to me about this? I'd really love an ear. I'll even pay you 5 gold to listen. Dude, absolutely. A random baker is a great way to do some exposition. Yeah, don't be shy. AWOL Games got a good point. Just talk. We're here to have fun and explore. None of the groups that I currently run are racing to the end. These are long-term campaigns that are here for the long haul and want to explore story and have a good time. We are not on a time crunch as far as This is only a 40 episode thing, or a 10 episode thing, or a 3 episode campaign. The campaigns I'm running are in the 90 episode range, 170 episode range for the train wreck. Long campaigns. Don't be afraid of taking time for your character. This is your story. Embrace it and have fun with it. If my mod, got brought up, if my mods do go in cosplay, on the cosplay they are going to have generic logos. So look for that, even if they do cosplays. Tech Viking says, valid. I played with someone who was super secretive about their lore or difficult when approached about it, but at the same time wanted to talk about their backstory but gave no ground. Very difficult. Cough, cough. Nobody. It's a thing. That is a situation where not everybody communicates well, and sometimes people don't know what the lore for their character is. Especially when we talk about fae creatures, and this is a pet peeve of mine, is actually the fascination with the fae realms. And you can get in here, Matilda.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, thanks, AWOL. I appreciate the kind words. Always welcome. I'm trying to do more of these hangouts. I was doing them on a regular basis, but life got really busy over the past couple months. I want to get back into doing these about once every week or once every couple of weeks. But yeah, I appreciate the cheer. What was my point? Where was I? Matilda, save me.
we were talking about
The Fae realms.
people being the Fae realms.
Too much lore has been placed on names and name magic in the Fae realms. Of, you've got to get your words exactly right or you're going to get screwed over. Everyone's in this Rumpelstiltskin is the devil, and you're going to have your life ruined because I messed up one word when dealing with the Fae realms. I dislike the Fae realms being the treachery space. I'd really love the Fae realms to be this space where we go to have wonder and a more extreme environment, as opposed to just the place where the legalese is in play. And
thank you, AWOL.
Appreciate that, AWOL. Appreciate the cheers. Right.
So Tech Viking says, I mean, if you don't know, that's one thing, but knowing and just being obstinate about it, but hinting at it every turn is different. I think they're talking about the sharing about your character. So
if you're hinting at, hey, I want you to ask questions, but I'm not going to answer them, that's the thing. And that's not cool. If you're saying, I want to be explored, but I'm not willing to tell you anything, that's not cool.
How would, as a GM, how would you resolve that between two players? Say somebody is wanting to engage with their group member, and the group member does have information that they want to share, but they don't feel like their character would share it, and so they feel conflicted.
It depends on the bit of information. There's very often where characters are getting information that they're not wanting to share with other player characters due to either morality concerns or the fact that they think that the character might get upset, or, hey, I'm trying to keep this a secret for the time being until X happens, etc. When that happens, the players are going to end up stop asking questions about that lore. If you're going to be secretive about what's going on, people aren't going to ask questions. As a GM, you have to be open to the fact that if the player wants the information out, but that character won't give that information out, you have to work with the player who's playing this obstinate character that doesn't want to release the information to leak that information through other streams other than from this character. So we can have, for example, let's say a character has a backstory of, hey, look, they're a ex-alcoholic and they have problems with a specific bar. When the party goes to a town, that bar is there. You can have, instead of this character giving the lore, you can have another patron show up and be like, hey, remember, you're not allowed at this bar anymore. That allows the exposition to go on to this other patron instead of on this character. You have to work carefully with obstinate character's player to make sure you're not leaking out too much. But it is a balancing game to get NPCs to pull information out that the NPCs would know that the player characters don't.
I see. That's a good way to work around it.
It's a really careful balancing act because you don't want to step on any toes for the players. You need to ask, as a GM, am I allowed to reveal this information to the party? What information can I leak out? Is it okay for them to find out, oh, he's an alcoholic, oh, he's got a gambling problem, he's banned from gambling at these establishments for these games, there's a price on his head, blah, 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 blah. Whatever it is, if you're going to do these things, you need to make sure that it's okay to clear those with the player before you do it. Clearing it after, being like, was it okay that I said this? Too late. You've ruined it. You've stuck your foot in your mouth. You're going to screw the campaign over. That person's going to be butthurt about it. It's bad.
And then you end up spending the next week smoothing over everybody.
Oh, no. You can't. You can't smooth it over. It will not happen.
Not at all.
Not at all. That is going to be a dip in the concrete forever. And you've lost trust at that point. It's not fixable.
And once you've lost your player's trust, it's impossible to get it back.
Right. One of my favorite examples of this is actually Jordan, who plays Saphira and Islarin and Hermenos and just so many characters he plays. Because his characters get into a world of hurt. When the Toyboa Trainwreck first started, he kind of set up this very generic lore of Saphira's famous for some reason. I don't know exactly why, but I want her to eventually be a famous sailor / pirate. Great. And years ago, like near the very start of the campaign, I'm like, how much leeway do I have to go with this? And I love working with Jordan. He's played in so many of my games. He's like, Eric, I trust you. Have fun with it. And so in, I think, episode 2 or 3, they found a bounty poster with Saphira's face on it, and for the rest of the campaign, Saphira's been running around having to be in disguise because it's just been a fun thing to be like, we're just going to escalate this. How many people hate her? How many people are hunting her? We're going to step it up. And it's just doubles down on everything we do. And having that trust from a player makes my job as a GM so much easier. Him communicating of, hey, look, can we make this even worse for my character? Yes, we can do that. We can absolutely make it worse for your character.
You're saying that he wants things to be terrible for Saphira.
It's great story. It is absolutely great story. And by doing so, Saphira is one of the party's favorite characters. Their entire campaign arc right now is focused on rescuing her soul. They have her body in a bag of holding.
Hey, Schmuck CEO. Welcome to the stream.
Hey, Schmuck. How's it going, dude? Welcome. But yeah, you want to make sure that you are working with your players as a GM. And as a player, you need to trust your GM. If you're keeping secrets from your GM and being like, we want to have this secret chat where we discuss our plans so that the GM doesn't know and we can sneak one up on him.
So if that happens, what's the result? If say players do keep things close to their chest and they want to keep their secrets and they want to surprise the GM or get one over on the GM. What's the eventual end result of that?
Boredom.
Really?
Yeah. If you're not working with your GM, you are going to be bored. Because here's what happens. The GM does not understand your character. You are not trusting your GM with your character's lore. You are simply keeping all your cards to yourself, and your GM has to do all of the story presentation without any plot hooks, no Velcro to catch into the loops of your character. Without working with your GM, you are going to get bored because all he's going to be able to do is present a static story that does not engage your characters at all. That's what's going to happen.
So you're just going to get generic slop.
Generic slop. And you're going to end up in a dungeon crawl, getting MacGuffin A, taking it to MacGuffin B, and resolving with boss C. That's it. That's what you're going to get. And if you go look at any preformed module that is massively popular on the internet, specifically WotC stuff, it is designed around generic, our players don't have much backstory, we just are going to do this thing, this adventure, we don't care about your backstory, we don't care about any of that, we are just going to do this thing. Which we, here at GME, are working to break that in our Dark Frost campaign. We are doing some really cool things in Dark Frost to where your backstory, what you've done in the past, is going to matter for the future. So look for more information on Dark Frost real soon. Well, not real soon, but Dark Frost 1, we should have books in hand soon. I'm going to probably run some Dark Frost adventures here in the next few weeks. So look for those announcements first on Patreon and then Discord. Let's see, checking chat. Gentle repose on her corpse. No, it's not a corpse. She is alive. Her body is working, but it has no need to breathe, eat, or sleep. It's just static in its stasis. So, as far as working with your GM, if you're not working with your GM, you're going to get bored. You need to work with your GM. You need to find ways that you can provide challenges to your character, morality challenges, physical challenges, weaknesses, tests for your character to be engaged in and interested in. If you're not willing to put your character at risk, they're not going to have fun. You're not going to have fun without your character being at risk. If you are just going to be God mode, okay, you're going to be God mode. Congratulations, you've won D&D. There's no challenge. Might as well just get guaranteed 20s and be set. So, if you're not willing to risk things in the game, if you're not willing to risk your character's life and test them out for the story, you're too attached. You need to go and write a book about the character, let them be a Mary Sue, let them go and have their guaranteed successes, their no chance of failures. That's the thing. That's why books are awesome. You can absolutely do that in a book, in literature. It's great. It's a safe space for your character. Go do that. D&D. Good.
Tech Viking asked, speaking of future campaigns, any thoughts about a new one with a long wait list of people, or with the long wait list of people? I know that there's tons of players who are waiting so very patiently in the wings.
Yes. I have been talking to my team, and I've been talking to the people involved in the business as to what I want to do with the new campaign. And there is going to be a new campaign at some point. The summer is a bad time to start a new campaign. And here's my reasoning behind it, okay? There's two bad times to start a new campaign. One is June and July, because inevitably people are going on business trips, or they're going on vacations, people miss sessions in June and July. It's a bad time to do it. You're not going to have people there to set the foundation for a good campaign. The other time that's really, really bad to start a new campaign is December. You do not do new campaigns in December. If you run a new campaign in December, the campaign dies in January. It's just not going to form. It's not going to gel. Too many people are going to be out. It's just not going to happen. So you can't run them, can't start campaigns June or July. You can't start it in December. You can start them in August. You can start them in September, October, etc.
So does that mean August?
Potentially August. The other side of it is I am going to be doing a price hike in the not too distant future. And I, as a business person, feel bad when I'm starting a new campaign and may have to be like, hey, look, we just started this campaign. We're 2 months in, 3 months in. I need to raise my prices because inflation's high, bills are high. I need a raise because I've been doing this for this rate for 3 years. So there's this business side of things that I have to consider of how does that feel to my new players. So I have to make sure that I'm balancing that for everybody. And I want to make sure that things are feeling fair, if that makes sense. I hope that answers that question. It's not just about, hey, come in, run a session. Because for me, I can go and if we just wanted to do another Underwatch run, I could absolutely just sit down and tomorrow do Underwatch 2. Just set off another campaign, doing Sanctum of the Starfallen, get them running and having fun with that. And I have a private group who's considering doing that. It's a full 6-man group that's like, hey, look, we want to do this for a certain number of sessions. We're going to try this. But that's a European group that is a full 6-man. I don't know. We're going to see what happens with that. But as far as new day or time of the new campaign, I have not decided that yet. The leadings right now based off of the people on the wait list. And the reason I have to keep track of this is because of who the people on the wait list are. The top 3 people on my wait list are stateside. And that's awesome. Okay? After that, the next 10 people on that list are all EU. And then after that, I've got 1 or 2 people who are stateside again. And then a whole bunch more EU people. So it's a long list. And I have to balance out, hey, look, who's going to be upset? Who's going to be able to participate? When can I do this physically? Because GMing is a physical task. I sit here for 4 hours per session and I run D&D, and it is nonstop. When you guys come to my sessions, you guys tend to be able to get up and, hey, look, there's a lull in the stuff. My character's not the focus at the moment. I'm going to get up and go do this thing. I don't get to do those breaks except for once, maybe twice a session if I take my 90-second break. But that puts the whole campaign on pause when I get up. So I try to avoid getting up and doing that because I want to make sure you guys are getting your value from the sessions. I hope that makes sense. I want to make sure you guys are getting the most bang for your buck when you come and play D&D. Because you guys, this is your entertainment. You guys have entrusted me with your relaxation, your enjoyment, your money, your time, coming in and having your entertainment for the week be with GME. Because it's like going to a movie, except I'm cheaper. It's like going playing paintball, but I'm cheaper. Whatever it is, I want to make sure that if I were my consumer, I would want to get every last moment possible playing in my game. And I think of you guys as that level. I want to provide you with the experience that I would want. Does that make sense? So, deciding when the next campaign is, I have to figure that out. There are a few slots that I'm looking at. So those slots would be Friday mornings Central Time, which would be Friday evening EU. Another slot is Saturday afternoon or evening, which would take the EU completely out of it. And my wait list for the stateside is kind of thin at the moment. But we're working on developing that. But that would be a Saturday evening type thing. There's also the opportunity for doing like a once a month or twice a month game on Sunday afternoons or evenings, etc. Drago of Nordakia, DMing is a hard job. It's why I don't run any tables at the youth center in the summer. Dude, more power to you that you run youth games during the other times, because I do this for a living and I understand how much work it is. I would love to get to where schools and youth centers reached out to me and been like, hey, look, come in and show us how you do this so that we can run this. It'd be fun. What is this? I just got a message.
No, don't worry about it. I'm tracking things. Don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I do have a question.
Sure.
Way back before your rant.
Oh. Welcome to Ranting with GME.
Okay. Welcome to Ranting with Eric. You mentioned that you run a lot of campaigns, but a lot of the content and storylines and all that other stuff, that requires a lot of preparatory work, right?
Yes.
How much time do you put in for each campaign? On top of the 4 hours that they play weekly, how much prep work goes into just one session?
It depends on the session and the content that's coming up. It also depends on the group, because some groups are easier to create content for than others. Because I get more communication from some groups than others, and knowing what's needed is easier to create content for.
And so that's where that whole topic of communicating with your GM and not keeping secrets comes into play.
Right. For example, the Underwatch. Underwatch, as far as the Underwatch goes, I am currently prepped for the Underwatch for like the next 3 months, maybe longer. Maybe as far as 6 months worth of content is already done for the Underwatch. They're good to go. It is show up and run, because I cranked out 3 weeks of 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., crank content out, make maps, and do that. That said, for the Underwatch, a new update came out for Dungeon Alchemist, which, if you're not familiar with Dungeon Alchemist, Elena, give me a shout out for Dungeon Alchemist. Dungeon Alchemist is the map making program I use for battle maps. I am going back through and we are redoing all of the battle maps for Underwatch, because
I saw that. Yes, a lot of maps to redo.
Yeah, there's a ton of maps that are being redone for the Underwatch, because we've got new tools in the map making software, including ambient lighting. We've gotten colored ambient lighting. We've gotten the ability to exclude certain areas from lighting effects, from environmental stuff, etc. So there's a lot of really cool features there. There's multi-level stuff in the new patch. There's roofs. So all of Underwatch is being redone. We are redoing the second floor. We don't have to do the first floor. We're not going to redo the first floor of Brandfather. But for Awesome Blossoms, we're doing second floor and third floor. We're redoing those. In spite of the fact that they were built, I'm redoing those maps because I'm not happy with them, considering the tools I have coming. So, and those patches just came out 2 days ago, and they've been doing hot fixes. So Dungeon Alchemist is resetting my tools. So that's a ton of content I have to redo. So there's a ton of really cool stuff there. They've even got modular props now, where you can like assemble pipes and machines and Rube Goldberg stuff within Dungeon Alchemist that changes how stuff moves, and animated maps are better, etc. So look for some cool features coming out in those maps. As far as like villages and stuff, getting a village or a point of interest set up, that takes hours. For a party to go to and teleport to, let's say we want to teleport to this village. When you go to that village, I have to create a good 10 or 12 locations. Each of those locations, I've got 3 NPCs. So each NPC, so that's 36 NPCs for 12 locations. 36 NPCs, each NPC needs to have a name, backstory, behaviors, moods, attitudes, what they have on them, environments, AI art. If I'm going to do AI art or just describe them, I need a description for them. And you do that times 36. So
and how long does that all take?
For a single village that the players are going to teleport to that I know ahead of time, 6 hours.
So you're doing 6 hours for one village
that they may be in for 10 minutes.
For one campaign that they just might breeze right through.
Yep. And the good thing is that village is there and built for when other groups go in and explore it, which is great.
So it's not wasted. It's just, it's 6 hours of work.
It's 6 hours of work that is setting up future success. You don't throw anything away. Never throw anything away as a GM. If you've got a dungeon over here in this city and one group clears it.
Oh. Welcome, Orc Skull. Welcome to the channel. We're doing an AMA with GM Eric.
Hey, Orc Skull, welcome. We're doing an AMA, just answering some questions about GMing and our campaigns, etc. If you guys have not checked out Orc Skull, he's another professional GM here on Twitch. He's awesome. I am very often lurking in his stuff. He's really, really cool. So, very
welcome. We'd love to have you. Right now, we're talking about all of the prep work that Eric puts in for his games. So, say like a 4-hour campaign, he'll put in 6 hours of work to build a town that his players might be in for 10 minutes, but such is the GM life.
Right. Yeah. We don't throw anything away as GMs. If you've got a dungeon crawl in a city that you've prepped and the players have gone through, that dungeon doesn't just disappear when the players are gone. That dungeon can be reused. It can be repopulated. Someone took that over when that last group got eliminated. Now that dungeon crawl may be filled with kobolds instead of elementals. You repurpose it, rebuild it, let them go back in. If they didn't clear out the whole thing, you just repopulate it, set a different boss monster. You've got a whole dungeon crawl in a few moments. So the prep work that I do is not specific to one campaign, or very rarely is specific to one campaign. There's usually the purpose of setting it up as a recurring location so that I don't have to create more and more content constantly. Now, as far as the Sanctum of the Starfallen, which Tech Viking was referencing, the side quest Saturday, we are doing that as independent storylines. They're looking for just some fun, brainless dungeon crawling. They're not doing lore stuff on side quest Saturday. They are just, we've got players out, we're going to go bang our head against content.
Just killing monsters, kicking down doors.
Getting killed. Because...
Getting killed?
Oh, last Saturday, we lost 3 player characters in the span of 2 hours.
Oh no. Okay, so what happened? Spill the tea.
Last Saturday, not this morning, but last Saturday, we were in Sanctum of the Starfallen doing Side Quest Saturday, and the players got in over their heads with a variety of monsters, ranging from the Dark Mantles that drop on your head after they cast Darkness And when they cast darkness, it's magical darkness that emanates from them. It's not a concentration thing for these fiendish dark mantles. They're a special dark mantle. So they have darkness, magical that you can't see through with dark vision. And then, because they have advantage, they drop from the ceiling onto your head, and they suffocate and blind you. So you can't use verbal components for spells, and you can't see.
This is the world's largest dungeon-inspired one, isn't it?
Correct.
Oh, I remember those dark mantles.
Correct.
I played the world's largest dungeon years ago, and those dark mantles murdered our entire party.
Right. Well, I think we lost 2 of the player characters to those, and then one of the player characters died to a Sturge, just critting them and draining them of all their blood.
Oh my god, that's bringing back such nostalgia.
Right.
I remember those.
And so we did Side Quest Saturday this morning, but this time they had 2 extra players, and they still almost TPK'd to 2 Dark Mantles.
That particular dungeon is no joke.
Yeah.
You gotta play smart or perish, and you can perish 2 rooms in.
Drago, we loved having your niece here this morning. I know she was having a ton of fun with the Bordrax. He's a side character played by Tristan, or Mac the Axe. Ton of fun character. He was a blast. He's the cousin of Bordrax, formerly of Beneath Fallen Skies. So, Bordrax was a fun character to have today. Kind of this really positive kobold who was encouraging people and doing quite well.
And did that kobold perish?
He lived.
He lived. Okay.
He lived. In fact, I don't think... Did Bordrax fall unconscious today? I don't think Bordrax fell unconscious. I think everybody else did. I think everyone else in the party fell unconscious at some point today, other than Bordrax. Oh, he did fall unconscious? Okay. So, yeah, there's a world in which I do a one-shot that just has the entire Drax family of kobolds come in and do a thing. Those characters are a ton of fun. It's a line of characters that was invented by Tech Viking, and Bordrax is a ton of fun. That kobold line is interesting. Yeah.
So coming back to the topic of all the prep work that you put in,
yes.
What campaign has required the most prep work? Like, more time than anybody else you have put in creating stuff specifically for them?
Specifically for that group that's not going to be reused for anybody else? Is that what the
I mean,
question is?
or just stuff that prompts you to do a lot of world building.
Okay, as far as the original world building stuff, the group that has required the most has been the train wreck, the Toyvoid train wreck. They have gone all over, and this is to be expected. I mean, they've been a group now for 170 episodes.
That's a long time.
Yeah, it's a long time. And they have and they've been teleporting around the world for better part of a year and a half now. So it's just, when they want to go somewhere, I have to have content ready for where they could be going.
How do you keep up with that? So if they've got teleport and they can go anywhere, how do you preempt them kind of just stumbling into brand new stuff and having you create things on the fly?
Yes.
It's just guessing.
It's, hey, look.
Skill. I think this is where you like brush off your shoulders and go, it's skill.
Part of it is I am that damn good. I kind of want to pat myself on the back a little bit there, but it is, I know where the story is intending to go. I have the bullet points of that stuff. Is the entirety of the rest of the campaign prepped? No. The entirety of the Toyvoid Trainwrecks campaign is not done. Like, I cannot do all of that. Skill issue Dio, right? It is, where do I suspect that they would potentially go? And what would I want if I drew conclusions based off of their thought process? It's understanding my players' thought processes. Where would I want to go to collect information bits about X? And so I have a location built, ready to go, that I have had ready for 2.5 years that they have not considered going to. And I do not suspect that the Toyvard train wreck will ever go to that location. But it's ready if they ever decided to.
So what was your shortest campaign ever on Twitch and your shortest campaign ever in general? This is from Rice Hunter TTV.
The shortest campaign on Twitch was the Feywatch. That one... Oh, no. I take that back. We did The Legends Are Born, which was a set 8-episode campaign. Legends Are Born was, we are doing an 8-episode campaign because the main storyline, we had several players who were going to be out during the summer, and they're like, hey, look, we need to pause the main storyline. We're going to do 8 episodes. And because we're doing 8 episodes, we know where there's a start, a middle, and an end. And when we got to episode 8, this is the last episode. We're not going to extend this. The main storyline, the main campaign's coming back next week. This is 8 episodes. Here we go. And I had to build an entire story that lasted exactly 8 episodes.
That must have been a real challenge.
Not really. Because we had a lot of lore coming in from the Spirit's End Fellowship, the Monday night group, the former Monday night group, that we were doing a lot of history stuff, and we turned the Legend Are Born campaign into a prequel series, where we knew what happened, but how did it happen? What were the events involved in the lore we've already established? And so all we did was we explored how did Vagradan's egg get out into the public. And that was it. And
so it was a world building campaign.
It was a world building campaign with a set goal, set objectives, and all 8 episodes were bulleted beforehand. And it was done using content that was already pre-created. I had Asatoro created. I had the trail up to the Weeping City done. We went into the Weeping City. The Weeping City is a massive map, just enormous. The Weeping City map is 9 screens on Roll20. Each of those is 50 by 50 squares. So it is 150 squares by 150 squares. So that's, what's that? 14 feet wide by 14 feet long battle map for the players to engage with and explore. So once I got them there, it's go and have fun. Because then I just have bullet points of lore that the NPCs just reach out and engage them with. And we can spoon feed lore at an appropriate rate while they're doing this massive city crawl. It's not a dungeon crawl. It is... The Weeping City is enormous. It is huge. The only battle map that I have bigger than the Weeping City is the Bourbon Citadel. Bourbon Citadel is 250 by 250. So it's 5 by 5 grid of battle maps that are each 50 by 50. So it's just ridiculous. That's 250 inches wide. So what's that? Calculator real quick. 250 divided by 12. It's 20 feet wide by 20 feet long, or 21 feet wide by 21 feet long square battle map. We're talking a battle map the size of a living room with 1-inch squares. And that's my biggest battle map that I've run so far. And the Spirit's End Fellowship, as a group, did the entire circumference of that map, the entire thing. They went all the way around the entire thing, and then went to the middle. Twice.
Just because they felt like it, or was
No,
there a
the
reason?
combat. It was all combat. Like, it was
Oh.
2.5 months of combat going through this battle map.
Spirits and Fellowship must really like combat.
They really liked their lore. They did 4 months of lore setup before even seeing that battle map, where they did no combat for 4 months. Then they had the exterior. They had one short battle map inside of a massive robot, the massive construct, with the demi-plane inside the construct. Once they got that, they went on to the big one. But they did months of RP, where it was just, we may not roll initiative for 3 weeks. So it really depends on the group. It really depends on the group. As far as content creation goes, I had that battle map created 3 years ago. That battle map's been done for years and years. So when they finally got to it, I'm like, yes, it's all ready to go. All I have to do is plot monsters. And I went through and I just populated the whole thing with the correct monsters. Which is a lot of work. But it's not go and build, 150 buildings with decorations and bathrooms and beds that have pillows lined up properly and all that jazz. So it really depends on the group. Don't throw anything away. You can always repurpose it. For example, the Awesome Blossoms. Awesome Blossoms are in Cordray Gruul. I have an entire ecosystem in Cordray Gruul. I have a good 40 NPCs there because the Us Against the Gods group went there and stayed there for 3-4 weeks and explored it. So there's tons of lore there. But the Awesome Blossoms are set on a goal. If they do go back to town to explore it, I've got content for them. But I don't have to go explore it. It's there and available. I don't have to prep it anymore. All I had to do was prep this dungeon crawl of the Brandfather's Lair, and that's what they're doing, is going into there. I hope that answers the question of how much prep do I do? Tons of prep. I usually wake up at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. I am in the studio by 8:30 a.m., and I'm usually creating content and doing GM stuff up till about 5:30. At 5:30, I have dinner, and I get ready for session, and then I run session. So, but GM prep for me could be stuff like, hey, update the waiting screens so that the waiting screens are all up to date with the correct levels, or someone got new art for their avatar. I need to update the art for their avatar. I got a new token, or hey, we discussed this item that I'm thinking about doing, or I've got this theory crafted spell, or I've got content from this new release that came out on D&D Beyond. Hey, can we do a one-shot on this date? What's the scheduling? Do my billing. I have to do all that jazz. So it's not all game prep, but it is all business related, if that makes sense.
Drago says that their players like their write out roleplay, whereas my youth table number 1 likes to be murder munchkins. I've had to create stat blocks for NPCs a few too many times when they decide they're going to rob the store instead of use the store.
Absolutely. One thing I like to do is I like to create a ton of NPC character sheets and have them ready for if my players decide to just go off in the distance. They go, I prepped an entire city and there's tons of lore over here, but we don't want to go to that store, we don't want to go to that bar, we don't want to go to that tavern, we don't want to go to this blacksmith, we want to go over here to the third one. And when they go to the third one, I'm like, okay, great, I didn't prepare 3 blacksmiths, I prepared 2. Or I prepared 3, they want to go to the 5th one.
That seems just contrary to be contrary.
It's what they do. And so I have to create content. And so I like to have a backlog, a file of NPC names and NPC descriptions that are not assigned. And so when I get to a adventure or a situation where I have an NPC that needs to be created, it's created. I'm just taking my NPC and being like, go, you're now a blacksmith, have fun. And so you just take them off the list and you're like, okay, edit, you're a blacksmith, you have this little trait, your story's called this. And all of a sudden it goes on my NPC list. We put it on toivoarpg.com. I'll let it put the link, etc. Nordachia. Okay. Nordachia. Gotcha.
Nordacia.
Cool. But yeah, check out toivoarpg.com. We've got a clickable map with most of the points of interest available. We do a ton of prep. I'm starting to offload some of my prep work to my mod team. They're going to start helping me with map recreations, etc. Now that you, Matilda, are out of school, congratulations on your master's degree. We are going to be offloading a lot of stuff over to you as well, including some map creation. Because I know you like doing.
I saw the post. I saw the request, and as soon as this is over, I'm going to be hopping straight into Dungeon Alchemist and playing with the new patch tools.
Yeah, there's tons of fun stuff, and look for some pretty maps
coming
up from Matilda.
Thank you, Mac. Very, very happy to not have any more homework.
Have I thought of crossover episodes just for funsies? Yes, I have thought about crossover episodes just for funsies. They don't work. Crossover episodes work when there's lore for them, and I do them. I have done the Friday Night Lights and Us Against the Gods crossovers a couple times. We had the Fighting Mongooses, which is a private game. We had one of their characters show up for the Friday Night Lights this week. We had some of the Friday Night Light groups showed up for Fighting Mongooses. Recent ones. Awesome Blossoms has not really engaged cross-campaign much at all. Underwatch is dealing with the fact that they are giving content to a lot of other campaigns. Us Against the Gods have kind of disconnected now that they're dealing with the Sultan in Shatter Shaddai. Beneath Fallen Skies, they're kind of off on their own, and we're not doing a lot of cross-campaign stuff with Beneath Fallen Skies because they don't really mesh with any of the other groups right now. There's a point where I could see them possibly crossing paths, but I don't think Beneath Fallen Skies is going to actively be a group that's going to be engaging much cross-campaign.
I think the biggest cross-campaign thing that we did was the big raid.
Yeah. I did that raid in December where we had the big massive event where it was 16 players, 1 GM. And
what
that's
was the
kind
dragon's
of fun.
Name?
For Sigeos' lair? Yeah.
Yes, Sigeos.
Yeah. Raiding Akeda. And we had 16 players, 1 GM. It was a ton of fun to do, but that takes a lot of setup. It is something that fits really well during the holidays when the campaigns aren't running and people still want their D&D fix. But as far as running it on a regular basis of, hey, look, we're going to do a cross-campaign event where this happens. We were going to do, okay, full transparency, we were going to do a cross-campaign massive army attacks Vagradan, right? Vagradan, world-ending dragon, 3 miles long, big bad, super bad guy. Spirit Set Fellowship decided one night, we're going to go beat the boss. Just out of the blue, we're going to go do this now. Like halfway through the session, we're taking him on. Let's go. Fortunately for me, I had it all prepped, ready to go for the big army attack. So I pulled up the battle map, had Vagradan on it, and what was going to be a 4-hour, 16, 20 player event ended up being a solo mission with them setting up one character for success.
Oh, so they just duked it out and decided we're just going to brawl the dragon.
They didn't brawl a dragon. They one-shotted the dragon.
Oh. Oh my. Okay.
It was one hit.
How rude.
Yeah. 2.5 years of content creation, setting up of this awesome dragon. I'll pull up the art for Vagradan. Like,
yeah, and show off the Sageos shirt and hoodie that we got. The logo for that one looks really nice. Max said that they're currently wearing it.
I don't have the art for that. Alena, can you grab the Sageos art from the website? I'm gonna get.
They dropped a vampire with a nuclear sword on it. That is a sentence. That is a.
They literally dropped a vampire with nuclear sword on it. That's what
that
they
is
did.
A whole sentence that I did not expect to see today.
That is what they did. Was they literally took a vampire and bombed the dragon with a vampire and a nuclear sword.
Like a vampire that was part of their party?
Yes.
Or did they just have a vampire?
Not just a vampire. They dropped a dream vampire with a portented critical strike on top of the dragon.
Okay, but that didn't answer my question. Was the vampire part of their party, or did they just have it?
Yes, the vampire was part of their party.
Okay.
Yep. All right.
I think that's I'm gonna have to go back and watch that because that sounds like a riot.
It was great. So this is Vagradan, right there. That's Vagradan. Okay.
I remember you getting the art for this. Yes.
3 mile long dragon, one-shotted.
It's just one shot. Just like they just deleted him.
Done. And the wish spell that they had cast was that that the player character would come back to life. Okay?
Okay.
They had it all set up and everything, but Vagradan, when he dies, explodes.
Oh, did the vampire not make it?
Well, if you go and watch the episode, what happens is
I will.
The dragon erupts after they drop the vampire off. The party teleports away, leaving him falling in midair towards the dragon with the sword. Right?
Okay, does the dragon just step sideways and he goes splat?
Nope. Dragon, it's a critical strike. We know it's going to happen. Here it's all foretold. Everything's all set up. And one of the characters, Echo Rex, is there to observe the thing, sees the eruption happening, and teleports away. And everything calms down. They had set it up to where Ricard would be banished the moment that this happened.
Okay.
So 1 minute after the dragon has exploded, he reappears in the middle of this wasteland that has been devastated, glassed, etc. It has to start walking home. And that's how the campaign ended.
So you got a vampire in a wide open field that's been nuclear glass turned into a giant parking lot. He's got no umbrella, and now he has to walk home.
He's a dream vampire that can be in the sun. He's a daywalker, so he's okay.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess cool guys don't look at explosions. He gets to walk away into the sunset.
Right. So Vagradan got one-shotted by Ricard von Karth, and he had to walk his happy ass towards the nearest city, which was a couple hundred miles away. And because he's a dream vampire, anything that dreams, he can sustain himself off of.
But it's a desert.
It's a desert, but it's a desert that has ghosts. And so he's consuming the dreams of the ghosts in the desert. It's a whole thing.
All right. Well, I guess, did his party ever come back and pick him up?
No.
Or is he just, He
walked home. He walked his happy ass back to the nearest city where he managed to get transportation because he had some wealth he could get rid of, and he bought passage back to Karth, and he now rules the city of Karth, formerly Southcote.
Well, at least everything worked out. And what happened to the rest of the party?
The rest of the party went about their happy way. They have each got their own boons at the end of their campaigns. Sweet August Rose is the governor / ruler of Bourbon. Echo Rex is the high priest of Emeria Rosie. Brennan is a cleric of Emeria Rosie and currently rebuilding Sidluma, the city that had been swallowed by shadows. Tester Didaday retired and has a restraining order against the rest of the party because he never wants to go on an adventure again.
Okay. That. All right, then.
Stell Brightgrove is currently fighting the Shintar Grove in the Fey Realms. I mean, it's a whole thing. Everyone in there had their own roles to fulfill. I'm forgetting someone. Amber Shastina became mayor of Nausha, etc.
So when a campaign wraps up, what generally happens to the characters? Do they all just do they just fade into oblivion, or do they usually get like that sort of wrapped up ending that happened with this group?
When my campaigns end, I like to give a GM boon. I actually have a GM screen that we put up of, hey, the GM is granting wishes. And we discuss, hey, how would you like the epilogue for your character to happen? What's the favor that you would want me to give your character? Some people are like, I want all our characters to be level 20. Rats, you are all now level 20. Some people are, I want to open up a corn stand. I want to become an entrepreneur, and I want to be a successful businessman in your campaign setting. Great. We establish them as a NPC. We have others who are like, I want to have legends created, and I don't want to be pinned down. Put me in your campaign point. Put me in your campaign somewhere where you can include me and make me feel badass. For example, one of those is Cass in the Underwatch. That is a former player character who has asked that she be a badass NPC that helps people out and then disappears when she needs to. So, depends on the group. Depends on the individual player, what they want for their epilogue. I've had a player be like, I want my character to die. Old and bored.
So that actually happens. They just
living
out their gentle retirement.
Gentle retirement. And that's fine. Whatever the players want, if they've successfully finished the campaign, ending the campaign should end with a nice epilogue so that we can tie the story of that character up, put a little bow on it, and let it go. And that's what I really like. Looks like I got a ton of lore from one of my players just now. That's going to have to...
Of all of your... Well, actually, let me go back up the chat here. Champagne Coast had a question earlier regarding Vagradan. How did the party manage to do enough damage, even on a crit, to one-shot the dragon? So they're assuming that Vagradan's HP was very high.
Because of the lore surrounding Vagradan, they had a sword that they spent a good 2 arcs collecting called Star Shatterer, which is a legendary sword forged from the core of a star that was designed to kill Vagradan. It had killed Vagradan once, defeated him at the cost of the life of the person involved. The sword had been found and hidden by the Josozai in Guarded Soil. After a dungeon crawl, they managed to recover the sword, steal it from the religious order, and escape. They lined everything up, and before the fight started, they did all the research to find out what the situation was, that they needed to succeed on in order to kill Vagradan. And they discovered that my mechanic for killing Vagradan is they needed to land a critical strike from above with a falling person on a natural 20 only in order to kill Vagradan, and it had to be done with this sword.
That is very specific.
Right.
And they managed to pull off all of those things.
They pulled off the entire checklist of, here's how we're going to do all this stuff. It took them months to figure out how to do it. And all the resource gathering of the right potions, the portents, everything had to line up perfectly. And when it was time, they're like, we got it. Push the button. And they went and did it.
And it was apparently very satisfying.
It was apparently very, very satisfying.
All right. Payoff for a lot of preparatory work.
Yeah. Question for...
Elena? Yep,
yeah.
Elena has a question here. What are you planning to do for the future of Toivoa in general? And or, what's going on?
We have seeded a couple of big bad creatures in Toivoa that are not being explored. There are several big bads that are out there, major story point entities, we'll call them entities in order to be vague, that exist in Toivoa and are making massive steps. Those entities need some more room to expand beyond the current land masses. So in the next year or two, expect the map of Toivoa to expand outwards and include new land masses, new countries, new cultures.
Ooh. So we're getting an expansion?
We would be getting an expansion of the entire world.
Oh, that is a big piece of news.
Yeah, that's a big piece of news. It's going to take some work because I want to make sure that when we do that expansion, I'm ready for it, because I have groups like the train wreck who are going to be like, we discovered this map, I want to teleport here. And
yeah, Trainwreck doing what Trainwreck does. And breaking all your plans.
Right. And the thing is, when you do an expansion of the map, you're not doing it in a linear fashion. When you expand a map, it expands on a geometric basis. So you have to create a geometric amount of content, which is the correct term, mathematically. We're creating a geometric shape worth of content. It is going to be a massive undertaking, and each of the cities and points of interest in that expansion have to be at least framed before we can put it on the map. Do I have some things already lined up? Yeah, I do. Do I have the map ready? No, I don't. I'd love to say, yes, I have the map ready to go, and I'm just not releasing it. I don't. But it will be expanding. The worlds of the Toivoan realms are going to be expanding outwards. We're going to go past the edges of the map as it is now, and we're going to reveal how small this section of the world is that you guys have been adventuring in for the past 4 years. We're going to expand the world outward to be bigger. And we're going to explore new cultures. We're going to explore new environments and creatures, etc. I want to include new creature types that are not currently out there, new lore, some metaphysical stuff even. So look for that. There's some cool things coming.
Tech Viking asked Volrim Toll. I'm guessing that's the location.
Volrim Toll is a merchant that they are dealing with in Miserin. Volrim Toll, I wouldn't call him a BBEG. He is a major player that is going to be more involved. He's right. Volrim Toll is going to be more involved in lore. But I'm not sure who all is going to be engaging with him. There's a right now it's Beneath Fallen Skies group, but I don't have much of a connection for Vormtal at the moment outside of this. There might be one for the Friday Night Lights. We'll see. But I think Vormtal might be involved in whatever new campaign I do if I don't run something that's pre-made like Sanctum of the Starfallen 2 or something.
So Elena asked, what is our current continent called if the continents have different names?
I'm not going to go into that.
All right. I think we have time for one or two more questions. If anybody's got questions in the chat.
We're not calling it Bob. But yeah, if we book a character consultation, yeah.
Yep, Champagne Co says, if we book a character consultation, are you open to allowing third-party homebrewed classes or slight changes to existing ones?
For a character consultation, the character consultation doesn't make it a canon character, okay? The character consultation is included with whenever you sign up for a campaign with me. Your character gets campaign consultation the entire time you're part of the campaign. Your character, you can come to me anytime during the campaign. But as far as character consultation, we can go through custom classes, etc. If you're going to use this character in someone else's game, as long as they're okay with that class, I will walk you through and help you build that character class the way you want it to fit. Absolutely. I will absolutely do homebrew classes and spells, etc., and set you up for success with someone else's game. That's what the character consultation thing is for. If it's for a current campaign that we're running, don't buy that. We do it all currently as part of the value-added service.
Drago of Nordacia says, my niece asks, have you ever run a campaign where all the players were kid characters?
Have. I did this in person at a game shop here in town called the Black Potion. We ran a all kids campaign, and it was a lot of fun. It was a short 2-month campaign. I think we did 8 episodes for that, but that one was in person. I am open to doing a kids campaign here online for VTT, etc. Usually what I recommend, though, for kids is joining my Learn to Play session, which is a ton of fun. If you've not participated in my Learn to Play session, send me a message. We'll set up a time to do a Learn to Play. It is an absolute blast. It is a fully encompassing one-shot that I've run 90 times now, and it encourages we do everything from character sheet building to role play. We do some puzzles and combat, some social interactions, the whole thing. It's a perfect little one-shot with a nice resolution. It's all encompassing in one little one-shot. So that's what I encourage kids to do, is participate in that. It's great for a family event. If you guys have a family group that wants to do that, come talk to me. We'll talk about setting up a Learn to Play session.
Mac the Axe says that there was a Christmas guest campaign that were mostly childlike characters. Was that true?
Yeah.
Bunch of gnomes, little halflings.
For Christmas, I do a holiday series of one-shots, and for the holidays, I always do a different one-shot, and we run that like 7-8 times during the holidays. This past time, we only did 5 because the demand just wasn't there this time. People want to be on the big raids. But the holiday one-shots, we do those because the campaigns have to be canceled because too many people are going to be out. But the holiday one-shots during December are a great time to get in and play with other people.
Is there anything else that you would want to tell your players or inform them about before we wrap things up?
The world of Toivoa is out there for you guys to explore. Don't be limited by what you're presented with. Explore it. Ask the questions. Reach out to me during the week. Be like, hey, look, I want to know more about this. Can you get me more lore about this? I'm probably not going to provide it during the week. I'll be like, hey, look, let's just explore this during the session. It's fine, But me knowing you're interested in that aspect of lore allows me to prep that lore so that when we are in session, you can be like, I'd like to know more about the dragons over here. Or I'd like to know about mind flayers in this area. Why are the Australian people tribal? You know, why are they nomadic? What happens there? Etc. Looks like Mac has another question.
Yeah, I'm a little confused. I was hoping that Matt could elaborate, but I think it's which do you prefer? PC to PC lore reveals, PC to NPC lore, or PC memories flooding in? I'm guessing this is the type of character
Right.
interactions.
PC memories flooding in is PC memories is hard because your character should know these things unless they're amnesiac or remembering things that they forgot. So I don't really like doing memory reveals on a regular basis. There are certain characters where it fits. In general, I prefer that the player characters know what their player characters know. But in general, I prefer the PC to NPC or PC to PC reveals. Those are more fun. Memory reveals where I'm telling you what your character doesn't know about themselves. That can be touchy because I'm then creating your character for you. And it feels
I'm
bad
guessing
sometimes.
that can come back to bite you later.
Right, because I want to make sure I'm getting your character right when I'm creating your character for you.
And so this is why it's very, very important that players fill out that character questionnaire at the beginning.
Yep. The more information you give me, the better content I'm going to be able to provide you. So.
All right, and I guess
save
don't be like me. Don't lose your character questionnaire because I lost mine, and then I didn't know anything about my character, and it was very embarrassing.
Yep. How do I feel about amnesia in characters? True amnesia, I am cool with doing an amnesiac character. Most players are not actually okay with doing this. If you ever want to do an amnesia character, I will run it for you. But it takes ultimate trust in me as a GM, because I'm going to tell you, you do not have a character sheet. I have your character sheet. You do not know what you're good at all. You don't know your class. You don't know your name. You know nothing, Jon Snow. And I'm going to go ahead and build a character, a backstory, and everything. And you have to go and explore the entire storyline that you know nothing about. And you do not get memories. You may get sensations of familiarity, but you have to learn your whole character sheet. You can be like, I try to cast a spell. Great, that doesn't work. Why? Well, you don't know why. Maybe you're a barbarian. You don't know it. We figure it out. And
that does sound nightmarish and fun.
And when you level
up,
Drago. And when you level up, you have no idea what level you got. I do it for you. It's not player driven at all. It is 100% GM driven of you're essentially playing a pre-made character that you don't get to see.
But as the player discovers these things, can they fill in a personal character sheet?
Exactly. So you'll understand what skill numbers you have. So when I say roll an athletics check, you have a +5 to this. Okay, well, you can go onto your character sheet and do +5.
I could see this being a very compelling concept for players who like to uncover secrets about themselves.
Right. But it is a pain in the butt. It requires a ton of trust.
I see.
So.
And we have now hit the 2-hour mark.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, as always, thank you so much for choosing me to be your GM. There's a ton of yeah, I do think it fit as a Jordan character. Thank you so much for choosing me to be your GM. There's a ton of amazing ones out there, and I'm always thankful you choose me to be yours. Thanks to Orc Skull for coming in and rating us tonight. Always a pleasure to have you guys come in and hang out. We are going to go ahead and raid someone else, so stick around for a few moments so that we can raid with as many people as possible. Alana, can you find me someone to raid? And let me know who we're going to be raiding. Again, check out the Sky Map decoders. If you've not checked these out, these are in the game enhancers on my website.
Can you show us how to use that real quick?
Sure, absolutely. So in the upper window here, right there,
Pull it back a little so it's in focus.
In the upper window here, we have the various symbols. You rotate the outer ring to determine which symbol you've been given.
So on the code, when you give us a code, the initial symbol is going to be one of those on the outer ring?
Correct. And then you are going to be given a letter or number or punctuation mark. You find it with the arrow here. So if you got an R, you would line it up like so, and it reveals that that is supposed to be decoded as an O.
So the O is the solution,
correct,
not the R. Okay.
Right. And the reason we did it this way as opposed to the other is so that you can easily find the letter or punctuation that you're looking for, and it's not hidden by the interface.
Understood.
So that's how that works. And again, there's 42 different codes in here, and it covers most of the punctuation symbols. And this is all being rotated from the back by this really cool interface.
Flip it around. And looks like there's some letters there. Instructions, what?
Oh, yes. It says, instructions are available at gameric.com. We have an instructional video on the Collector's Edition one. We're going to be redoing it with this gold ABS one soon. So look for that updated video soon. Cool. Hope that answers those questions.
Yeah, thank you.
Otherwise, guys, have a wonderful week. Please stay safe. As always, I appreciate you guys choosing me to be your GM. We are going to be raiding Fuzka, apparently. I'm unfamiliar with them, so we're going to go ahead and hit them up. We'll be back tomorrow morning with the Beneath Fallen Skies group as they are delving deeper into the Salt Spire. So have fun, everybody. Take care, and we will catch you guys later. Have fun, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Matilda, for coming in and hanging out.
You're welcome.